Well, a quick turnaround, obviously. 4 games in 8 days. We got a lot of work done, but obviously I'm concerned that we're not doing too much, that we're saving legs. And so there's a really high degree of worry from me that we're prepared, but yet we're not over prepared where we're on the floor practicing for 2 hours before a game. So I tried to go as light as I could and still accomplish what I thought we needed to accomplish. And now we'll see what our legs are like tomorrow when we take the floor against a good 8-3 Nevada team.
Coach, did you find the Nathan block pretty significant? I'm talking about that second half block. It was 60-46, I think. I mean, if he doesn't make that play, it's a 12-point game. Maybe there's an and one opportunity. It's an 11-point game. Did you feel like that was a significant moment in the game looking back to Monday night?
Yeah, anytime Nathan's under the basket, I thought his tip-ins, in the second game were significant. I don't think we got any putbacks in the first game. In the second game, he had 2 tap-in putbacks at the rebounding offensive end, and then his block shots always affect the game. And so that's a big momentum changer, like a dunk is at the offensive end. A block shot is a huge momentum changer, and I think Nathan has the ability to change the momentum of games with his shot blocking ability.
And then what do you think allowed you guys to be more successful on the glass in general? Because I think Saturday you were, I don't have it in front of me, -7 or -8 on the glass, but then you were plus rebounds on Monday. What was the difference there?
We worked hard. We always work hard on boxing out. It's something we do every day, rebounding. So hopefully if you work hard enough, something you're rewarded for that hard work. You're not rewarded every time, but we work hard on boxing out and rebounding, and we're rewarded at that end against Colorado State, and that was a significant change in the stats of that game, losing by 8 the first game, winning by 4 the second. So that was a big momentum shift at the rebounding end.
Just take us through a little bit of detail what you remember about Desmond Cambridge's last time he was in Vilas Arena.
He's a gifted scorer, and we knew that going in when he played for Brown University. They beat us in our first game after Christmas break. He had 26, and one shot in particular on Jeremy Hemsley where Jeremy was draped on him all over and he bounced up and made it. And you watch tape of him at Nevada, he's making the same shots. You can be on him, but he still has an ability to raise up and shoot over a defender. So he'll be a huge challenge for us in the game on Thursday and Saturday, contesting and contending with his offensive game.
In your experience, when a guy has a really good game in a gym and he's talked about he likes the feel of the gym, does that usually translate the next few times he plays in it?
I hope not, but he likes San Diego. I think when they played the Toreros, he had a good game against them. So hopefully we get a little bit of a cold spell here in town and he doesn't all be warmed up when he gets in here. So he's a good player. We know that. And so we're going to have to pay attention to him and make sure we make as many shots as we can hard. But with that being said, he still has an ability to bounce up and make shots over defenders. So we're going to have to be on high alert.
And what does Sherfield bring to them?
Well, Sherfield was a guy that committed to Steve Alford at UCLA. And then when Steve didn't stay at UCLA, he went to Wichita State and then transferred back to Steve at Nevada. So he's a Pac-12 talent guard and plays with great pace. He can score the ball at all 3 levels. He can drive it and finish at the rim. He can shoot the 3-point shot. He's got a good mid-range floater. So obviously he's going to be dangerous too. Their guards are very good, and we're going to have to be prepared to do what we have to keep a body in front of a body.
And finally, what's the injury update on AG and Keshad?
AG practiced today, so I think he's getting back into game form. Keshad sat out again as we rehab that shoulder he fell on in the Colorado State first game. And so he'll be a game time decision.
Hey, Dutch, you mentioned Sherfield and Cambridge. You also mentioned the USD game. I mean, they really kind of controlled things against the Toreros when they were in town. Do you get the sense that it's kind of as they go, as those 2 guys go, Nevada goes, and if you want to get a win, it's going to kind of ultimately come down to keeping those guys in check?
Yeah, well, we know winning college basketball games has a lot to do with guard play, and they've got great guard play. With that being said, Warren Washington coming back to San Diego, a local kid. Robbie Robertson coming back to San Diego, a local kid. So I'm sure they'll be inspired to come home, play in their hometown. So there'll be challenges that Nevada presents. And obviously Steve Alford's a very good coach and has won a lot of games in this league.
You've talked a lot about the difference between starting lineups and finishing lineups. Terrell Gomez is a guy that's done some good things for you coming off the bench. When you've had kind of some of the slow starts early in the season, can you just give us an idea of kind of the thought process with a guy like that can provide points, and what you like about using him in that kind of, I guess, spark plug role coming off the bench as opposed to being in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your best players always aren't in the starting lineup. I mean, last year, first 13 games of the year, Matt Mitchell came off the bench and ended up being a first-team All-Conference performer in the Mountain West. So Terrell right now is coming off the bench. That's not to say he won't be in the starting lineup at some point, depending on how we play and how he plays. But coming off the bench in that role, he's provided a great spark. He brings energy to the floor. He changes the pace of the game, and he can really score the basketball.
Have you noticed more just big swings in games this season? I mean, you guys haven't really had one where it's like a 5 to 8 point game all the way through. It seems like every game there's a big swing in the first half or in the second half. I mean, you guys have been on both ends of them. Have you noticed that? Anything to that, you think, this season?
Maybe more so this year. I haven't looked at scores, but I know we've been 17 down and tied it. We've been 16 down and won. We've been 26 ahead and lost, and been 26 ahead against Colorado State in the second game, won by double digits, had a big double-digit win against St. Mary's where we had the only runs of the game. They really didn't have a run to get it close. So there's been a lot of swings in these games we played this year, but I think that's basketball anywhere. I mean, with the three-point shot, the shot clock, the pace that people are playing at, that I think runs are everything, and we've got to make sure we extend ours and shorten our opponents.
Hey, Coach, how have you seen Terrell's overall game evolve so far this season?
I think he's defending at a higher level every game. You know, he's in multiple places at the same time, contesting shots for a guy his size. He gets in his gaps, and he's playing better defense. Offensively, he's feeling more comfortable. You know, I think he was trying to fit in when he first got here and didn't really exert himself at the offensive end. And now as he gets more comfortable, he's taken more aggressive shots at the offensive end. He's taking deeper threes and all things that I think are good for us and good for his game.
Coach, one thing that has changed for you since last year has been your attire. What has it been like to not having to wear a suit and tie for a game this year?
Well, I bought some new suits, so I'm a little disappointed. You know, I had some nice new suits, but my assistant coaches like playing without suits. And so I don't mind wearing the nice tailored sweat tops of the games, the collared shirts. So I think it's something that may stay in college basketball. I think if the NBA, when COVID is behind us, goes back to suit and ties, and college may, but this may be something that you see from now moving forward, that coaches are dressed like coaches instead of like bankers.
How much more active can a coach be because they don't have to risk like tearing any pairs of pants or a pair of shirt?
Well, I don't think I can be much more active than I am at my age. I'm pretty much the same pace, whether I'm in a suit or a sweatsuit. So my pace hasn't changed at all.
But currently the Mountain West has 6 teams with an overall winning percentage of 700 or better. Is that some new depth to the conference this year? Your thoughts on that?
I mean, this conference is very good. And unfortunately with COVID, some of our out-of-conference opportunities to win games didn't materialize. I think Colorado State's very good, but because of their lockdown, they missed some games that I think would have helped us. I think Utah State had an opportunity to play some people that they didn't get to play. And so we're going to beat up on each other now that we're in conference. But this is a good conference. I think the teams at the top are very good. And I think the teams at the bottom are getting better. So it's going to be a competitive conference season.
And your thoughts on Nevada at 8-3? Is that representative of how good they are?
They're very good. Their guards are exceptional. Their bigs are getting better. And Steve Alford's a really good coach that's won a lot of titles in this league. So they're going to be a real challenge. And I think they're 3-1 in the conference. And they're going to be a test for us tomorrow night and then on Saturday.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask you about Jordan. You know, he seems to be having a career year so far. Have you noticed any major changes in his game, or what do you feel he's improved on in particular?
I just credit his teammates for finding him when he's open and his work ethic over the summer. And every year he's been here, he works to get better. He's improved his game. Obviously, he's always been a great shooter. He's been able to put it on the floor a little bit more, been a little better off the bounce. But when he shoots like he does the other night against Colorado State, we're hard to beat. He made 8 threes. And I said it in the press conference. We went back-to-back games of 14 threes. So we shoot like that, we're going to be problems for anybody that plays us.